Attention listeners! On October 29th at 5 p.m. Pacific, join WizBiz with Alex and Eric for a thrilling Halloween live stream on Twitch. We will be discussing Fiona and Cake and divining using a Ouija board and pendulum. It will be spooky fun! Don't miss out on the Halloween live stream extravaganza. Subscribe to our Twitch channel to stay updated and be part of the spine-tingling action. Visit twitch.tv/WizBizPodcast and hit that subscribe button. Be prepared for a Halloween experience like no other. We will see you there.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the WizBiz Kingdom. This is Alex speaking. Just a little heads up. If this happens to be your first episode, there's a slight to moderate audio issue. 100% my fault. New equipment didn't work out so well. Episode's totally listenable, but I just feel weird because maybe this is someone's first episode and you're like, hey, this podcast sounds echoey every now and again. It doesn't. It's just this episode. So there's your warning. Totally listenable. Totally fine. If you're a fan of the show, it's great. Everything's great. Everything's perfect. If it's your first time, don't think this is representative of our, everyday yada yada. Enjoy the theme song.
Time to get real. I want to see some crazy whiz-biz.
What's the magic made out of, ding dong?
I want to see some of that whiz-biz.
This castle is in unacceptable condition! Unacceptable! Mathematical!
Bacon pancake.
Hello, audience of the WizBiz podcast. This is Alex, representative host of the WizBiz podcast, reporting in. I am Alex Bolin, and with me, as always, is Eric Lionheart Arneson.
Greetings, Alex. How's the weather on your side of the secret cavern?
The secret cavern weather is delightful, as is the fire, and we're waiting for it to snow, etc., etc.
Well, I am delighted to report that this very evening we shall be reviewing. Hold on, I'm starting to lose it. Anyhow, we are covering 3 different episodes of Adventure Time in this episode. Season 3, Episode 11, Apple Thief. Season 3, Episode 12, The Creeps. And Season 3, Episode 13, From Bad to Worse.
Correct.
Anyhow, that's my intro.
That is a fine intro. I'm glad that you said the episodes. Eric, I have a very important question to ask you.
Ooh.
How's it going?
It's going all right. It's going pretty good. We had some delightful rain this week, and that made me super happy. I did some super nerdy computer stuff, and that made me super happy. I guess since the last time we recorded, I made a really cool online magic tool using ClojureScript. Did I talk about this already? Twice?
Yeah.
Well, then I'm not going to mention it again.
I don't blame you. The only reason I remember that is because I was just editing the episode in which you brought it up. I went, I don't remember if that's off mic or on mic, but this is the second time you talked about it. It was the second episode.
Okay, well, this is the third time I talked about it. The other nerdy stuff that I've been doing is not really directly related to any sort of occult nerd stuff, so I'm not going to mention it. But, I'm kind of excited about the Fiona and Cake stuff. And then in other weird related news, I don't know how relevant this is to either of us, but there's a new live action version of One Piece, which I only mentioned because it's a cartoon. I've tried watching it. It's not really my thing.
The live action or the
animated?
The animated one.
I haven't tried watching the live action one yet, but I think I'll give it a shot.
So I've watched the first season or 2 of One Piece, and I liked it quite a bit, but it has too much of that Dragon Ball Z. Every single action takes 3 fucking episodes thing. And I'm hoping they clean that up for the live action version. So, and I've heard from the guy that made it, and like somebody else like in the anime industry is saying they saw the American version and really love it. Like it's
Really?
a really faithful. He's like the spirit of it's there. He loves the lead. I mean, maybe he's just being polite in Japanese, but like I feel like sometimes you can read between the lines when people are just trying to be polite, and this felt like a genuine like. This is cool. Like I'm glad this is happening. Yeah.
So here's a thing that I'm wondering about. In One Piece, there's a character that fights with 3 swords.
Mm-hmm.
Like he holds 2 of them in his hands and the third one like in his teeth.
Yes.
It's ridiculous as a cartoon, and I'm just really wondering how they're going to pull that off in a live action thing, and that should be entertaining to see.
I mean, I think what they'll probably try to do is they'll just put a sword in his teeth, like they'll just hold it with his mouth. So, I have nothing to report on my life, but I have a WizBiz update for.
Oh,
for the
WizBiz
audience.
update! Oh, there should be a sound effect for this.
Yeah, I'm not going to put a sound effect in. Perfect, because I'm not going to edit one in. I'm tired. Next episode, possibly, maybe the one before this one. Because who knows how the order of things coming out, because we finally have a buffer going. Eric and I are going to discuss the first few episodes of the new Fiona and Cake show.
Yeah, I think we'll release that as a bonus episode. We might announce it ahead of time on like Blue Sky or something, and do maybe we'll do it on Twitch.
Yeah, so that's going to happen. But I'm going to give a very brief, not review, just a very brief reaction to the first 2 episodes.
Okay, should I plug my ears?
No, there's going to be absolutely nothing remotely spoiler. I'm not going to touch on plot. I'm not going to do anything.
Are you going to tell us if you liked them?
That's kind of what I'm going with.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I'm not even going to tell you if I like them.
Okay.
I'm going to say this. I am on record as saying I don't like the Fiona and Cake show episodes in Adventure Time. I will say my opinion is very different after watching the first 2 episodes of their own show.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's kind of promising.
Now, to be fair, the first 2 episodes, and this is no spoiler, but the fullness of the show has not been established by the end of episode 2.
I saw the trailer that they released earlier this week, or last week.
Yes.
And it looked like the scope of the show was getting big and exciting in cool ways. And they had a grown-up Finn and Jake.
Small spoiler, but it's not a spoiler. Finn is in the second episode.
Okay.
And he's like, it's not just, he doesn't walk by. Like,
he's in there.
He's like one of the main characters of the second episode.
Oh, that's exciting. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, not going to tell you what he's like, who he is, what he looks like. He does look like one of the many future versions of Finn that we saw in the original show.
Yeah, that's what I saw in the trailer.
But yeah, it's so far it is promising. If it delivers on what I think they're setting up, I think this is going to be a very good show, and it is not what I thought it was going to be, which makes me very happy.
Oh, that sounds cool. Okay, that's really exciting. Okay, so first of all,
Are you okay? Eric,
yeah, I just was reading my own notes and I started laughing.
Eric just like glitched out. Cease all motor. Eric
like
went
to
full
think
Mitch McConnell.
I just went Mitch McConnell. I just squirtled it. Squirtled the turtle. All right. So one of the things we do when we are planning how we're approaching the Adventure Time episodes now is we look for ones that we think are like skip episodes or episodes that we don't have to spend a lot of time on.
Yeah.
And I did it for this season. So if we spend too little time on an episode in this season, it's my fault. I think
if I may just small undercut of your statement. We did it this season. We sat at Double Barrel and did it. You wrote it down and then emailed us the results. So I am somewhat culpable, unless as an audience member you're really mad. In that case, it is 100% Eric's fault.
I'm just saying there's no chain of custody that really proves that you're the one who selected which episodes to skip.
Oh, yeah.
I might have changed everything.
Oh, that's a good point. And given my kind of early onset dementia that I'm experiencing, I have no memory of it. I just remember us discussing it.
You just said that twice.
Yeah, shit. All right. So anyway, back to M. Night Shyamalan's Old. That is a deep cut for the John and Alex Hate Stuff audience.
So we're covering 3 episodes, but I like all of them a lot. I have notes on all of them. They all entertained me, and we had some important character moments in these episodes. So
here's the first episode is Apple Thief, and this is the one that I somewhat agree with you. Although I think these are skips, I think they're very enjoyable, kind of standalone things. But I think they're skips, or at least not skips, but they should be part of a group thing. The one I will say though is I think Apple Thief is a dud.
Really?
I'm on
Why?
record as not. I don't really like.
I know you don't like Tree Trunks.
But nothing really happens. I like Raggedy Princess.
What do you mean nothing really happens? This is the first appearance of Mr. Pig.
Yeah, another character I don't like.
Mr. Pig's a great character.
You're,
Look, if it wasn't
you've
for
watched the show before, right?
if it wasn't for Tree Trunks and Mr. Pig, the Lich would destroy everything. You know that the Lich would definitely not stay in that baby form if it was.
They could have shoved it with PB's weird brother that lives under that tree. It would have been fine.
No. It's Tree Trunks and Mr. Pig to keep him in check. I know this.
Yeah, I'm not fond. No, so I don't think it's a terrible episode. I think it's like it's one of those. It's a one-off. It's just it does introduce Mr. Pig is weird because his model hasn't really been established yet.
Yeah.
So he kind of looks like Mr. Pig, but like he's a little bit off from when he starts being like a full character. And doesn't he have clothes later?
I think every once in a while, but not very often.
Oh, okay. All right.
So one of the things that I like about this episode, though, is that it establishes that there's a weird underground criminal element in the Candy Kingdom. And there's that great thing about like how nobody gives a shit that they're smuggling diamonds. It sort of harkens back to the fact that like Finn and Jake have a tower, or like a whole treasure room filled with treasure, and nobody ever gives a shit about it. Like when they're looking for the apples and they come across the diamonds, they just don't care. They're like, diamonds, but we want the apples.
So my thought on that is this is, I think, a post-economy. I don't know that there's money. So like the idea, like gold is useless unless you're building electronics.
We see it happen a few times. Money shows up.
No, money shows up. But I mean, for the most part, like I imagine the Candy Kingdom as being like Star Trek, where it's just like, there's technically a monetary ecosystem, but it's basically just like, yeah, I don't know, you're cool, you got a job. I guess you could just have this synthahol, have this dead root beer guy.
Well, because
dirt beer. What's his name later?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's like dirt beer or something.
Okay, but yeah. Anyhow, but also we also got to see a lot of Banana Guard buttholes in this episode.
Yeah, a lot of reference to buttholes in this episode.
But just on screen, Banana Guard buttholes were everywhere.
And also, little inappropriate action from Tree Trunks. She touches one of those Banana Guard's butt without consent.
Well, yeah. I mean, how old do you think a Banana Guard is?
I don't care about age. Consent is consent. You can be two 75-year-olds. You got to get permission before you go grab that ass.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
Though, to be fair, it is a banana, though. Like, pretty much anytime you handle banana, you're probably touching its butthole. So,
that's true.
No, I mean, maybe I have to, like, walk back my point there a little bit, that there's almost no avoiding it.
And I'm curious, since it seems like Princess Bubblegum's science that creates the candy people creates everything out of pure candy. Banana Guards are made out of fruit. Do you think that they're actually, like, some sort of candy banana? That they're not really a banana?
I think if you ate them, they would taste like banana candy. You know, like banana candy tastes like a species of banana that's been extinct since the 30s. I bet you that's what it is. They're just banana candy with a banana candy shell.
Okay. Yeah, that makes them probably a little
like, I bet
tougher.
the outside is like a gummy kind of licorice kind of thing that you peel back, and then the inside is like a kind of a sweet toffee, like a like one of those, you know, those Tootsie Rolls, but they're flavored
raise your hand
like.
if you think Alex has thought about this a little too much.
No, I'm literally pulling this off the top of my head. Like those Tootsie Rolls that are like fruit flavored, like that kind of thing. I think it's going to be the inside of them.
Oh yeah, like the yellow Tootsie Rolls.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
that is my assumption. So here's the thing I do love about this episode, and again, don't dislike the episode, just think it's skippable. The inexplicable Jake used to be a brigand backstory that goes on thing. So it's established that he used to rob.
I didn't know it was wrong.
He used to steal old people's purses because he didn't know it was wrong. And then he used to hawk stolen bicycles, which, by the way, in Portland can get you killed. But also, inexplicably, Jake just has weird phrasing. So he goes, "Hey, quiet, Finn, you're going to queer the deal." I mean, perfectly fine, but where do you pull that from, right?
That's like a 1930s gangster movie.
It's really, it's like when you watch an old movie and it's like, I'm feeling gay today. And you're like, been happy back then.
Yeah.
But it's still like, yeah, you wouldn't use that in that context that it's something made in 2016.
I don't think we're allowed, that's not an okay thing to say these days, is it?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, I guess queer's been, what do you call that when you take back a word?
Yeah, but I don't think it was ever a reference to homosexual activity when you were talking about queering the deal. It was queer in the sense
but
that
what
queer
I mean.
is unusual.
Yes,
or
but queer then
yeah.
took over a pejorative towards
Right.
people on the rainbow,
So
and
maybe
then
it is
they
okay
took
to
it
use it
back.
that way.
No, I know, but it's one of those things that like you don't think of using that word in the same way you don't think of using gay as
Right.
as
Happy.
I'm feeling happy, unless you're doing a Flintstones theme song ripoff.
I was just thinking about the
Yeah,
films.
it's literally the only reason I know that word is when I was like, I don't know, 8. Somebody in my family had to explain to me that having a gay old time that used to mean happy. Not that I thought they were
funny.
like fucking, like Fred and Barney were fucking. I was like, oh, that word is used in a context I'm unfamiliar with in my first grade mind.
In the small town that I grew up in, we had an ice cream parlor called the Gay 90s.
Fuck yeah.
And it was just like old style ice cream and stuff. So
I was in high school in the 90s and it was, I mean, there was some gay.
this was referring to the 1890s.
Oh.
The gay 90s.
No, I was just thinking, I used to date this guy named Andy, who were both pretty goth, and that's a true story. Yes. Is the gay 90s actually a phrase? I've honestly not heard that.
Yeah. The
Oh,
gay
okay.
90s was the decade of the 1890s. Like that used to
I
be.
know, I knew that was a decade. I've just never heard that phrase.
Well, it used to be a common way to refer to the gay old 90s.
Why was it? What was going on in the 90s that was so cool?
I don't know, like the Spanish-American War, I think.
Oh, I mean, that's happy.
Yeah, I think Garfield got assassinated or something.
Oh, yeah. Probably poisoned lasagna, am I right?
It was a Monday.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we've kind of discussed everything we can discuss about this episode. I think you're right; it is kind of skippable. Oh, I do have to note that Jake cooks authentic Korean food.
Yeah, he cooks bibimbap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is that how you say it? I have never heard it said out loud.
I've never heard it said out loud other than when
Bibimbap. It's bibimbap.
the way I've seen it, the way that it's spelled on the Korean card I used to go to is BIMBAP. And that's the way I pronounce it.
So you didn't see BIBIMBAP? Bibimbap?
I can only go by the Korean card I used to go to. It was 6 letters. They were together. And when I said it to the lady at the cart, she understood what I wanted.
Okay.
There is no claim to saying
I'm just
it.
saying, I've
Yeah.
only seen it spelled out. I've never really... But anyhow, it looked delicious.
It is a very delicious meal. I recommend it wholeheartedly.
And I have to say, I felt really bad for Jake getting pulled away.
Me too.
Because, I mean, that was so much work, and it looked so good, and it made me hungry.
Motherfucker made tempura shrimp.
I know.
Come on, man. Like
I
you
know,
gotta.
that's not easy.
Though to be fair, and I'm
To
saying
be
this
fair.
as a lover of Korean food, if there was kimchi on that plate, I can see how Finn was unfamiliar with that. That stuff does have a particular odor.
Yeah, and also, I think tempura is Japanese, so I don't know what he was doing with that.
Yeah, all their food kind of shares with each other.
I'm just making a joke. That was a joke.
Well, to be fair, tempura is actually Portuguese.
Tempura?
Yeah, that's where it came from.
Really?
Yeah, it's the Portuguese trading with them where tempura came from. I swear,
Oh,
it might be the Spanish. I think it's the Portuguese, though.
Well, it must have been the Portuguese.
Yeah.
Because, they're the ones who started.
Trade with Japan?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I don't know fuck all about Japanese history other than, like, they didn't want to talk to anybody for a real long time. And I know at some point
that was also
broke.
the fault of the Portuguese. The Portuguese showed up, I think, in the 1540s.
Yeah. Apparently they rolled up with, that's where tempura came from. Because, it doesn't matter. It's
I did not know that.
It is always my argument when people talk about how, like, what's the thing where you use other people's culture when you cultural appropriation?
Uh-huh.
And somebody was talking about that, like with like oh, white people make it tempura or something like that. I'm like, I mean, I know it's like a few hundred years ago, but that was like the worst example you could have given. I mean, it's not the worst example. It's a totally fair point. It was just like you could have if you chose like one more down on the menu, 100% your point's valid. It's just you chose the one that they got from somebody else.
It's like Native Americans making spaghetti sauce.
So I had no idea that Julius Irving survived thousands of years into the future and was running a diamond smuggling business.
Who's Julius Irving?
Dr. J?
Oh, Jesus.
I have like no notes for this episode, so I wanted to make sure I read all of them. Also, and Jake says, as innocent as baby's butt cheeks, which is fun.
So we once again have Polly Lou Livingston, may she rest in peace, as Tree Trunks. And
Why did I die? I'm still alive in this coffin.
oh
I'm
god,
just gonna sit here and rot. That turned into kind of Matthew McConaughey as a goat towards the end.
yeah,
there.
that was pretty macabre.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Tree Trunks sort of like inappropriately flirting with the banana guard,
Not flirting, sexually assaulted.
but she also broke her handcuffs. She just went,
Oh, so you're saying she's like super into kink?
or just super super strong.
Oh, you're going the other way. Yeah, that was. Well, I mean, she is an elephant.
True.
Like elephants are generally strong as fuck.
Yeah, but only because they're enormous. Like, do you think a little elephant would be?
I think like a baby elephant. Now, I'm not saying tree trunk size, but like a baby elephant, I think could beat the shit out of both of us.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't argue with that. But I also now at this point think that Tree Trunks could beat the shit out of both of us.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
I think anything that can just flex its arms and break out of handcuffs could beat the shit out of both of us. Probably.
Though, to be fair, they're like shitty banana guard handcuffs.
Okay.
So that could be out of like sponge sugar.
That's a good point. They're probably made out of candy.
Yeah. But no, I made a note of that too. I'm like, damn, tree trunks could probably fucking wreck some shit.
So a guy named Ron Lynch plays Mr. Pig.
Yeah, Ron Lynch, everyone knows him.
Okay, cool. So he was also on the Sarah Silverman program. So that makes like the fourth Sarah Silverman person that we've had. That's kind of interesting to me.
I think it all goes through Tom Kenny, because he's from there.
Okay.
Or at least he appeared there. Because there's a whole Bob and David, Tom Kenny.
Sort of a cliquishness.
Yeah, click. That's a good word.
Click.
Yeah. Going on here. It's good voice for a pig. I just don't like the character.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. I'm sorry to inform you that they're going to show up a lot.
I know. I've seen the show, and I'm sad about that. We're going to have to talk about all those. I may call in sick that episode.
All right, I could do a solo episode.
It's going to be Whiz Biz with Empty Mike and Eric. No, I mean, that's the thing.
I'm using my own mic. It'll take so much. It's going to take so little time to set up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and you'd probably accidentally stream it on Twitch.
That only happened once.
Oh! Hey, look, my phone's going off. Don't give me shit about things going wrong in recordings. You're just as culpable.
Okay, hold on. I think it's time. If we're gonna do all three of these episodes in our one episode, then we have to scurry along.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think the next two are at least the third one. I have almost no notes. I have nothing to say about it.
Oh, I have notes on these.
Yeah, but I think it'll go quicker. But let's do a segment real quick.
All right.
I have some shiny rocks.
You're asking me if I have any shiny
No,
rocks?
I have shiny rocks.
So you want me to ask you if you have shiny rocks?
No, I'm just announcing
do you
the
want me
segment.
to say, hey, Alex, are there any shiny rocks you found lately?
No, I literally just said this is going to be the segment.
I already asked the question.
Too bad I already started it.
Okay.
So this goes to a conversation that I believe I was having with you about how when you look at the sun, you can sneeze.
Yeah, sonosneezophobia.
Exactly.
What's that? Solarphilia?
Yeah. So this is what we did when we hung out. So I looked it up.
Yeah.
And it's called, and I love this. I love scientists. They're my favorite. It's called Achoo syndrome.
No.
Which of course stands for autosomal dominant compelling heliopathamalic outburst.
I'm not writing that down. I love it.
Yes. It's one. It actually doesn't really even spell achoo. Unless you have to break ophthalmic into helio and then ophthalmic.
Wasn't there a D in there also?
Achoo? Oh yeah. Autosomal dominant. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
It's like adchew.
Adchew. It's actually adcho.
Adcho.
Yeah, but anyway, I looked it up because of that, and then I have a good word.
Okay.
I'm not going to pronounce this remotely close because I don't know how to speak Portuguese.
Okay.
But Nefelibata. Nefelibata. Nefelibata.
Nephiliboda.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you want to guess? I feel like you don't know much Portuguese, so I didn't bother to offer. But yeah, no.
Let's see. It's a box of wine that is descended from a fallen angel.
Dude, I mean, word for word.
Oh my god, I knew it. I knew it. My etymology, I've been studying a lot, so I really figured like that would be it.
Yeah, so it literally translates to cloud walker. And it's to be Nephalabata means to think and live outside of preconceived boxes, to be true to your heart and to follow your own path.
Oh my god, that's exactly what I said.
Yeah, I mean, you were like right there.
Oh man, these internet classes are really paying off.
But also, literally translated, is Luke's last name.
Skywalker. Oh my god! So do you know in Portuguese versions of Star Wars, is he Luke Nephalabota?
Yes, I know that, and I'm gonna say that's true.
Well, it seems like the sort of thing you would look up.
Honestly, I didn't even think about the Skywalker thing until I said it out loud just now. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so those are my shiny rocks for today. I only have 2 because this is a skip episode, and you guys get no effort out of me.
Oh man, oh no, we're putting the effort in. We've got 2 more pages of notes to go through.
Oh, that's fine. No, we put effort towards the adventure time of it.
Right.
I'm just going to waste my precious rocks.
Your brain rocks.
My brain rocks.
Yeah.
My party rock. But I will talk about the episode The Creeps.
Dun 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 dun.
So I have one very important note on here.
Okay.
And this is, I'm talking directly to the audience and directly to Eric.
Oh, that's handy.
If you ever invite me to a fancy mansion that I have to get dressed up for and wear masks, and there's not a fucking orgy going on, I am getting the fuck out of there. Because if this shit isn't eyes wide shut, I'm eyes wide getting the fuck out. Bullshit. Oh, I'm going to get in fancy dress and wear masks and everybody's going to change my name and I'm not going to put my dick in some strange? No. I say no, sir.
Okay, that's a very valid and point, and it's good information for me to store in my brain box. But Finn is too young to go to an orgy.
Not according to most of the princesses. Also, I just wanted to point out, like, a first there. I believe, as a mostly asexual person, I'm probably the first gray ace demi person on a podcast to scream, if I don't get my dick in some strange, I'm going to leave. As I was saying that, I was like, oh, this is very much not like me. Like, I'm actually pointing a point that maybe I'm making myself uncomfortable, and thus I share.
Okay, that was, all right, so...
And that's all the notes I have for this episode.
That's all the notes you have?
Every single one.
All right, I have a few notes. First of all, this show opens, with the creepy castle, Finn and Jake doing their whole approach, dressed in like Victorian garb, and it has this occult feeling. So I feel like there's an element to the feel of the episode that kind of speaks directly to one of the reasons that we love Adventure Time, which is there's lots of Victorian occult influences in Adventure Time.
Correct. I guess this is a good point to point out why this episode, I believe, is a skip. It is because, and they say it in the episode, they're just doing that train episode again.
Yeah, absolutely, they're doing the train episode
But I just
again.
feel like, okay. I mean, fine. You called it out. That kind of makes it a little meta, but it's like, we already did this. It's just kind of...
But there's some cool stuff in this. So
well,
first
absolutely.
of all,
it's a fun episode. I don't...
Cinnamon
it's
Bun.
Not in the canon of things.
Cinnamon Bun is prominent in this episode.
No, incorrect.
He's there.
No, he's not there. Do you know who's there?
Oh, it's Lady Rainicorn.
No, it's Guy Farting.
Yeah,
Also, there's Lady Quiet Bottom, Duchess Gummy Bums, Professor Pants, Prince Hotbod, and Randy Butternubs.
Randy Butternubs.
Because there's no CB in there. It's Guy Farting.
Right. Guy Farting is... But it's a very significant Cinnamon Bun episode. Like, he...
Oh, do explain. I want to see where this is going.
So he really blatantly hits on LSP.
Yes, he does.
And she turns him down. But it's totally like a sort of thing where it's like, oh, Cinnamon Bun's into princesses. He's not going to get in Finn's way. But later on, he
that's
totally
a really good point.
Hooks up with Flame Princess.
Yeah. Well, at least he becomes her, like, vassal.
You know that's just code. Because he also then switches and hooks up with her dad.
Oh, so you're saying they make a little creme brulee.
I'm saying Cinnamon Bun is a dirty, dirty bun.
Yeah. A little baked Alaska happening there.
A little baked Alaska.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Like, I'm not even kidding. Other than the list of names, my first 4 notes would be screw it. How this should be an orgy. Oh, Beebo's ghost detector I thought was really cute.
Oh yeah.
And it turns out he's just taking Polaroids. Like, I just like taking Polaroids.
And he poops Polaroids. He
Yeah.
poops them.
That's good.
There's a scene where Princess Bubblegum just sort of blatantly calls Finn Prince Hotbod. And I thought you would sort of latch onto that and use it as an example of
No.
sexual inappropriateness in Adventure Time.
I mean, although you are correct, and that is very much in my milieu, I didn't, because Princess Bubblegum seems like the type that will commit to the bit. Like, if she gets into an escape room, she's going to be insufferable. If she goes to, like, a fancy dress party, she's going to keep her fucking accent up the whole time. So her calling everybody else by their bullshit names didn't leave me with a weird inappropriate thing. I feel like that's her being a rule follower less than see, it's more her obeying the rules of the situation than her not obeying the rules of statutory rape.
Oh, okay. All right. No, that makes sense. That makes
Also,
sense.
I have to stop saying that word. A
What,
little
statutory?
aside. Yes, a little aside. I was playing around with doing ads on TikTok, and that dumb joke I made about atheist vegetables don't believe in gourd got flagged for content
What?
because it referenced religion, and we
What?
weren't allowed to put. So
What?
yeah, it's. I mean, I know it's bad. I know the whole you have to say segs
But-
instead of sex and shit, but it is. Yeah, I meant to tell you about this.
That's
Yeah. A joke about the veggie people and that they don't believe in gourd as veggie atheists. That got flagged because it was inappropriate.
oh, social media has become ridiculous.
It's gross. Anyway, sorry, please. What are your other points on this episode? Because I'm not getting that's all of my things other than plot points.
But BMO gets philosophical in this episode. And for the first time, BMO sort of says something very wise and BMO-esque. Like, he's got that whole little thing about sometimes bad things happen and you're left in the dark and you have to seek the light. Like, it's this little sort of... It's kind of a cliched little speech, but BMO has a motivational speech in this episode.
I was going to make that. I was going to make that note, but I failed to because I started thinking about. We've frequently referenced how it's weird that they have certain bits of modern technology, modern to us, that's still extant in the dystopian future that we're watching the show. It's weird that those light sticks from raves that you click and they they photoluminesce or whatever, that those are still there in the basement of this house and functional. And I just started thinking about that. I'm like, oh, I wonder what the half-life of those are. Like, how long does it take?
Oh my God, this is 1,000 years in the future.
It's 1,000 years in the future. They got those clicky, rave glow sticks that totally work still.
Okay, I have two more notes.
Please.
First, the Ghost Princess, Shoko. The Ghost Princess shows up again.
Okay, wait. Give me 1 second.
Near the end of the episode.
No, I know Ghost Princess, but isn't Shoko the name of Finn when he's that Asian lady with one arm in the past life?
I think so, but Shoko is also the Ghost Princess.
Oh, okay.
And then finally, this is the episode where we learn about the vault.
Oh, Finn Spank Bank? Yeah.
Yeah, where he's like, that one's going in the vault.
Yeah.
And it's gone. That on rewatches, I've loved that little scene
No, it's really
so
fun.
much just because it sort of reflects the kind of horrors that Finn actually has to deal with.
Here's a fun thing. I was trying to figure out what the name of Finn's past life person is. And I searched as Finn as Asian lady in the past.
Oh,
I thought that would come up. The first result is from Quora, which you know this is going somewhere great. How come so many Finnish people look East Asian?
God.
So yeah, that's all the Googling I felt like doing. I'm good. I'm done with the internet.
One of the things that's good about this episode, it is a very layered mystery story that does make a lot of sense. The Adventure Time Wikipedia has lots of analysis of the storyline of this episode. So if you want to unravel all the plot points and figure out who is whom and who is in on the joke and who is in on the prank, check the wiki page. It's pretty delightful. And then also, this episode and episode 13 were part of Cartoon Network's 2011 Halloween special lineup.
It's a great Halloween episode. I was thinking like this is like very Simpsons Halloween episode. Like this feels like a fun, like if this were October, we're watching this would go up like 12 points in my esteem.
I really enjoyed it, but yeah, I have that same feeling. It's definitely a really good Halloween episode. It was interesting how grim, and it was way more gruesome than the train episode.
Yes.
In the train episode,
The train episode doesn't have like a Cronenberg level Princess Bubblegum melting in front of people.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
It looked like
We
that
could
guy
see-
from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
And we see Princess Bubblegum kind of do that twice because she does it in the next episode too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Let me ask you a grammar question here. And this
Okay.
is 100%, I'm not calling you out because I don't know what the right thing is. Is it supposed to be who's whom?
Who's whom? What?
You just said who's whom was what you referenced earlier. Like, the phrase that I think of is who's who. No, I'm not, again, I can't, whom has never made sense to me, and that or which, I'm never going to learn what those mean. My brain refuses to know those. But that jumped out at me when you said it. I'm like, is that...
That's a good. That is a good question. Let me think about that. So, that is who is whom. I think that makes sense because whom is an object, but since it's on the other side of the state of being verb, it might necessarily have to be who. I'd have to look that up.
Yeah,
That's just it. I don't know. That's instinctual to me. When something feels like an object, I'll stick whom. In
I
there.
think because in my head I was like, that feels like you did the right thing. Like
Oh.
you did grammar good. But like everybody like
that might be wrong. I would love to hear.
But like in GQ, they're like the who's who of hot people on the carpet. Like
but GQ doesn't have good grammar.
well, I just pulled GQ out of my ass. But I mean, like who's who is like a phrase, but phrases don't have to be grammatically correct at all.
True.
This doesn't matter. Wait a second. This is the nerdiest show in existence. I'm not going to stop a sentence
I'm
because of
curious about this
nerdness.
because I didn't notice that I did it. I try to use whom correctly, but I'm not. But it's a tough one, right? Because whom is oh god, I'm having a difficult time remembering the roles of pronouns now. Like
Audience at home, if you want to explain that to me and then have two different people explain it in two different ways with two different answers, I'd love to hear it.
me too.
Yeah, find us on Blue Sky Social.
Yes, WizBiz Podcast at bsky.app.
Yeah, just search for WizBiz Social.
Yeah.
WizBiz Podcast. On that note, we've been having one of our audience members has been sending us ideas to you for like fun audiograms. So if there's ever a clip in a show that you're like, man, I'd love to see that as like a fun little thing I can look at and like send it to us.
Yeah, a little audiogram, like a little clip that we could post on TikTok. They actually help us quite a bit. But
Yes.
it's difficult to listen to ourselves again and figure out where they are. So if you find a clip that you think should be an audiogram, then please let us know.
Yeah, send it our way.
Yeah.
It'd be like a fun little interactive thing. I have nothing else on this episode about the haunted house.
Neither do I. So let's move on to season 3, episode 13, From Bad to Worse.
If I may start, my problem with this, especially following the previous episode, this is just a redo of the first time they did zombies in the castle. So we got a redo of the train episode and a redo of the zombie thing in a row. I was like, oh, come on, guys.
Okay, you know what?
Did we run out of ideas for in season 3?
That's a really, really good criticism. I've seen this one described as a sequel to the very first episode.
Sequel's fine. If it wasn't immediately following the kind of very similar previous episode to the train thing, like 2 in a row, it's like, it just feels like you kind of reach. It's like
It feels like they got the assignment from Cartoon Network. Like, hey, you guys have to make some Halloween shows. And they were like, oh, God, we'll just use some old ideas and rehash them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, it's a fun episode. It's just like, it's the same one we did as episode 1. Yeah.
So I feel like at this point, I would like to go back to my statement at the beginning of the episode and say that I was correct in picking these 3 as skips. I feel like I did okay.
Yeah, I mean, I remember you saying that, and at the time I was like, Eric, I don't think these are skips. I think these are all wonderful episodes, but I'm glad you went with it.
Yeah, me too. Thanks. Your vote of confidence helps me a lot.
One of the good things about my brain slowly melting is I can be gaslit like that. I mean, it's just the easiest thing in the world. No, Alex, I'm pretty sure you believe the other. Yeah, you're probably right. Trust your brain a lot more than mine.
Okay, so one of the things that delighted I have a few things about this episode though that I really liked. I liked again that once again Cinnamon Bun is kind of front and center because I think we are getting into some Cinnamon Bun story arcs soon, right? No, we have to go through we haven't even done Flame Princess.
Yeah,
yet.
we haven't met Flame Princess yet. Yeah.
Fuck, Cinnamon Bun is just around forever.
Yeah.
Oh, he's such a dunce.
Yeah, he's fun. I mean, the thing is, he doesn't take up a lot of real estate in episodes.
True.
Like, you don't have like a full, like if there was a full Cinnamon Bun episode, I think I would just quit watching this show. I mean, I just wouldn't watch that episode.
There is an episode that is pretty cinnamon bun heavy, which is the one where he lets Flame King out of his prison.
No, that is kind of what I'm talking about, but like that's later enough that he has a full character. He's gone through things, like there's growth. Like the Cinnamon Bun we're watching right now. If there was a full episode, like if next episode was just a Cinnamon Bun episode,
oh god,
we've never done an actual skip, but I would demand that we just don't even talk about it.
Okay, I will totally agree with that. I hope that's not coming up.
Well, the one thing I did like about this episode, I just want to make sure it's not on your list, because again, I have no notes for this one.
Okay.
Is I like that the science rat looks like candy corn.
I also like that the science rat looks like candy. You mean Science? His name's Science.
Science, yes. Science looks like candy corn. That is fun.
I liked that there was that line where Finn's like, "We'll each make our own version of the formula. One of us is bound to get it right." Like that feels like the sort of solution that would happen in a kid's cartoon.
Yeah.
And of course it doesn't work, because Adventure Time isn't a kid's cartoon. They live in a real world where there are like actual rules to this science shit.
Yeah, and I did enjoy that that instead of like it just fizzling out, it just makes things worse. So like one of the formulas gives the zombies wings, the other one makes the zombies like super swole, and then LSPs gives them like
big lips,
dumb like
collagen lips or whatever.
I was trying to think of what you inject in lips. Yeah, collagen lips. Do you put Botox in lips too? Because that was the word that popped in my head.
I don't know. It's not what they use to make them bigger. Like people get their lips inflated.
Oh, totally. I just had a thing of, I think I had an ex-girlfriend that put Botox in her lips for some reason. Not that she didn't. Like, she went to, like, a clinic. It wasn't like she just waited for, like, a can of peas she had for 3 years and then just injected it in her lips. Like, this is a professional thing.
No,
Given she's dumb enough to date me, I just want to make it clear she was not. Her only self-harm was emotional and wanting to be near me.
I know that people use Botox for all kinds of things, and maybe there's a lip thing that it gets used for, but it's not for like lip filler. I don't know.
I'm surprised because I feel like this is something you would know in and out.
What? Because I paint my fingernails?
Oh no, I was totally kidding. I just thought it'd be funny to be like fucking Eric, the middle.
Alex, my eyes are up here.
Yeah, but them titties are down there, and I know what I want to be looking at. Yeah.
Okay, so another thing that I really enjoyed about this episode is there was a exploration of the limits of Jake's stretching power, which we see.
Oh, yeah.
Which is funny. It seems like it shows up in some pretty unimportant episodes, but later on in the series it becomes way more important that Jake has limits.
Well, we already did that episode, didn't we? The limit. Did we already cover that?
Yeah. That's when they got the psychic tandem world.
Exactly.
Ancient psychic tandem world.
It's difficult. I'm glad you struggle with it too.
But we also see it later on.
Totally.
In some of the final episodes. Then
no spoilers when you get a little bit more of his background.
At the end, I love that there's a royal day of apologizing, and even though Finn did do a lot to fix the problem, Science got the medal.
Yeah. Finn gets totally Chewbacca'd.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, Princess Bubblegum has to Chewbacca him, right? Like, they're still on a friggin' roller coaster of a relationship. Just last episode, she called him Prince Hotbod. And now she's sort of like, fuck you, Finn. I'm giving this medal to Chewbacca.
Yeah. She's negging him.
Yeah. Yeah, she is, really. And then, I do have a question. And this is something...
I guarantee you I'm going to have an answer.
I really meant to look this up because I thought it would be probably really racy and really amazing. I want to know what Lady Rainicorn's lines were in this episode. I totally spaced out looking them up, but she has a few lines that I think sort of indicate that she's into Jake biting her.
Oh yeah, it's Roy G. Biv is to remember it.
No,
that's her lines.
You know what I'm saying.
I know.
You're just being difficult on purpose.
Yes, I am. Welcome to everything I've done since 2010. What's the name of this episode? You keep talking about the episode.
From bad to worse.
You talk about other things you have about the episode, because I'm literally out of notes.
Yeah, I mean, so it's interesting that it's a sequel, or sort of considered a sequel to Slumber Party Picnic, because there just aren't as many parallels. You know, Princess Bubblegum gets bitten right away and turned into a gum zombie, a candy zombie, which is, you know, her second melting. Starchy gets used as a bomb. The thing with Jake and Lady Rainicorn is kind of touching and sort of a little reminiscent of zombie movies.
Okay, so what she says in the episode is, I like it when you bite me, which, yes, saucy, but not as... I think maybe you were thinking it might be a little saucier.
No, I feel like that's about what I was expecting. But she has 2 lines. She has a line earlier right before.
Yes, that one is very straightforward as well. Hold on one second. That is, no, he loves me, as she tries to let Jake out of the shower.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing on this one.
That's the end of my notes. I don't have any notes aside from that.
To me, like...
there was a scientific parasite in Princess Bubblegum's coat at the beginning.
Oh, good. This might be the epitome of...
Skippable,
but, like, it's fun. It's a fun episode. There's nothing to it. It is the fluffiest fluff, and it's redone fluff. It is trod upon fluff. It is a cloud walking fluff.
So, yeah, these were absolutely skippable
It's
episodes.
the Nephilim of fluff, or whatever the fuck that word was.
Nephelibota?
Yeah.
Nephelibota.
Which, by the way, I got your Nephilim joke. It was nice.
And the Boda joke?
No, the boat I don't understand. Yeah.
Box of wine.
Oh,
yeah!
That's very good. I wish I'd gotten that before.
Thank you.
Okay.
See, I told you I'm a master of
Baiting.
Artistic etymology. Creative etymology.
My favorite dumb joke is the people that confuse etymology and etymology bug me in ways I cannot put into words.
Okay, that's your best joke?
It's not my... I'm just
saying it's the best joke you've said today.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a little insulting. I think screaming about how the mentioned episode should be Eyes Wide Shut instead is the best joke I said today.
All right, look, Alex, I think it's really, really time for you to tell our loyal and delightful and extremely intelligent and good-looking listeners where to find us on the internet.
No.
Would you like me to do it?
No. Because I fucking remembered.
What?
Who won the episodes? I remembered.
Oh, shit.
This might be the first time I ever remembered. I don't have an answer. I just got excited.
Okay, I have 2 possible answers.
Okay.
I think one might be Shoko, the Ghost Princess.
Okay.
Although she was a little bit too impactful. My second vote is going to be Starchy.
Oh, yeah.
Because he showed up in...
I'm glad I'm up here. And they did.
He does a little dance, and he gets used as a bomb. I feel like that's a great background character thing to do.
Okay.
Starchy?
I don't agree with Starchy.
You don't. Who are you going to vote for?
Dr. J.
No, he wasn't too much. He wasn't enough of a background character. He was too influential in the episode.
But he's a one-off character.
He's a one-off character, but that's not the rule. The rule is a background character.
Did we establish it's got to be purely background?
Not purely.
Well, then, because I feel
mostly.
like you can't have Starchy then.
Okay, then how about the banana guard that doesn't get goosed, where we still get to see his butthole, but he doesn't have any significant interaction with any character?
You son of a bitch! You had me at butthole. Eric wins. So,
banana guard number 2, you are the winner.
Audience at home, I have a little bit of things to tell you. If you are currently listening to this episode of WizBiz Podcast on a podcatching service that offers reviews, please leave one. For instance, Spotify, you can now just click 5 stars. You don't even have to leave words.
Ooh, yeah, please do that.
It would bump us up in some ratings. You can find us on Blue Sky Social. I'm still checking our Twitter. Who knows how long that's going to last. That place is just falling apart at the seams, but, I miss it. So, yeah, Blue Sky Social, you can find us on there.
TikTok. Come and see us on TikTok.
Oh, yeah, TikTok.
We're doing some videograms. It's fun.
Yes.
Like we mentioned earlier, we're open to suggestions. If you find a clip that just makes you laugh a lot, including especially my jokes, please let us know.
Yes. Please let me know what episodes I can find Eric making a joke. I would love to listen to that. That was a little mean. Sorry, I take that back. Eric, you're very funny.
Cool. I didn't even flip you off. Look at this thing not flipping you off.
No, I know, but it's
not even a little bit. Not even under the table.
But it's it's like one to have a fun riposte back and forth. I'm like, that actually probably was actually mean, not fun. So Eric, you're delightful. I'm glad you're on the show.
You have to just keep telling me that.
No, that's it. That's the only thing we're going to hear. So find us places, share us, tell your friends about it, because we want more listeners. Okay.
WizBizPodcast.com.
That's the one. All right, bye.
Say goodbye to your dog.